Good morning and welcome to the 5th annual Tri-State Apex Accelerator Mega Matchmaker event. Thank you for joining us this morning. We appreciate it. My name is Robin Rowan. I am the program manager for the Northwest Commission Apex Accelerator serving Northwestern Pennsylvania businesses, and I am joined here by my great colleagues from the state of Ohio, New York, and Pennsylvania. We have a great team that is behind the scenes putting this together. I want to thank my team for this. This is our 5th annual year conducting this event. And as I mentioned last year, the event continues to grow as we have more participation of small businesses and government buyers in the matchmaking sessions. And we have fantastic government subject matter experts stepping up to provide their knowledge and expertise on critical topics in the world of government contracting. Events like this are very important now more than ever as we see a 40% decrease in our nation's defense supply chain in the past decade. More and more businesses have to make important decisions on whether they want to start down or continue down the path of doing business with the government due to many barriers that make it so hard for success. The Department of Defense is working to increase competition, attract new entrants, and strengthen the small business supply chains. The Apex Accelerator program is a part of that strategy to help break down barriers to small businesses entering and sustaining in those supply chains on a national level. The decline of small businesses in the defense industrial base can contribute to national security risks. The Apex Accelerator program is now and has always made a difference while supporting businesses wanting to do business with the government, federal, state, and local. Our program has been around since the late 1980s. We have professional and very well-versed counselors across the country that have been in this program for decades. And let me tell you, they know their stuff. I am so proud to be a part of this program and look forward to helping clients become successful every day. Many may not know, but this year has been a very challenging year for the Apex Accelerator program, as funding to sustain this program is in jeopardy due to reasons beyond our control. If your company has been assisted by an Apex Accelerator, or if you find events like this very beneficial to your growth in the government contracting marketplace, please reach out to your local Congress members and let them know your success stories with the Apex Accelerator. It is important that we all make some noise to let Congress know how important the support of this program is to your company's success. I would like to send out a special thank you to everyone who has made this event possible. We have Stone River Event Management, John and Tish Erdman. They are hosting this event platform. They do a wonderful job, and we've been with them for 5 years, and they do great work. All of my colleagues in the other Apex Accelerators in Ohio, New York, and Pennsylvania, thank you, team. We couldn't be doing this without everyone's teamwork and doing all the behind the scenes making this happen. I'd like to thank all of our general sessions and keynote presenters, Dave Zico and Colonel Victoria Nemmers, the Deputy Director for Contracting, Directorate of Headquarters for Air Force Material Command, Patterson Air Force Base, Ohio. Mr. Mike McWilliams, who will be our keynote tomorrow. He's the Deputy Director of the Department of Air Force Office of Small Business Programs, Air Force Contracting panel that we'll have to have come up here soon. We also have America Makes. They are a manufacturing innovative institute. We have the Defense Logistics Agencies, Aviation, and Land and Maritime. We have the Army's SIBR and SITR program coming to us tomorrow. We have the Department of Defense's RISE program. They will be Mr. Dave, who's I'll be announcing here a few seconds, will also be on presenting about the RISE program. We also have a DoD, the Department of Defense's SIBR and SITR panel. We also have our very own Pennsylvania Co-Stars program coming in to talk about their cooperative purchasing program. We have Lockheed Martin and L3 Harris that will be joining us to talk about doing business with primes. So be sure to view the agenda on the home page of the website or when you're logged into your platform. We have matchmaking sessions. We'll start at 10 a.m. And our first breakout session will start here at 10:15 a.m. You will find, again, links to all these sessions within your portal under the agenda tab, and there's descriptions of each of the sessions, so be sure to check that out. So it is my pleasure to introduce to you our first speaker to kick off this event, Mr. Dave Zico, Jr., who is currently assigned as the Intergovernment Personnel Act to the Department of Defense's Office of Small Business Programs. Mr. Bazuko will also be presenting tomorrow afternoons at the DoD RISE program, as I said, mentioned before. Without further ado, please join me in welcoming Mr. David Bazuko. As it is great to see you, Dave. Thank you so much for joining us here today.
Thank you so much. Really appreciate being here, Robin. Thank you for the invitation. To all of you out there, thank you so much for allowing us to present to you today. And since I know we're on a short time frame, I'd like to get started. I will start off by saying that I've been involved with the Department of Defense for about 45 years now. And I guess you can later on when I'll be speaking on the RISE, I'll give you a more detailed background about myself. But I think it's important that we get started. So I'd like to get going on this Tri-State Matchmaker presentation. And let's start off with the first slide, please. Okay, so basically what I wanted to do is give you an idea of what the OSBP mission is. We're looking to maximize our opportunities for the small businesses. What we're trying to do is be the primary advocate for this process program. And what we're trying to do is establish a vision where we have an entire network of small businesses to increase the capability of the Department of Defense. For me, my personal viewpoint, the small business is the engine to innovation. And I think that that's been proven out by the data that we have over the past decade. And I think we can demonstrate to you its importance. Let's go on to the next chart, please. All right, so what are our objectives? Basically, we want to take a unified management approach. You can read all this. We want to align with security priorities and engage in support of the small businesses. What we're trying to do here is get us all together to understand. So many people talk of small business, but they don't really have a thorough understanding of its importance and the impact, not only to the department, national security, and the economic expansion of this country in the industrial base. So I think that what we want to do is put an emphasis on what we try to do every day is to maximize the number of small businesses participating in the Department of Defense. It was mentioned earlier that we've had a reduction. So in the past decade, we've had a 40% reduction, if you will, of the small business participation. Yet, when we look at the data is clear. 70% of the small businesses, doing business with DoD are small businesses. So it's a key element to the development and the expansion of the DoD industrial base. Next chart, please. What are priorities? Again, you can read all this. We want to maximize our contributions. We want to support the initiatives, provide leaderships, create opportunities, demonstrate the efficacy. But what we're really trying to do overall, what we really want to put an emphasis on is making sure that all the small businesses are attracted to us, that they try to do business with us, that they try to coordinate with us, and that we try to develop the industrial base to a point where it becomes essential for us to be able to make that kind of contribution that's necessary for the continual protection of the United States national security. Next chart. So what's our reporting structure? Well, we are under the Undersecretary of Defense for Acquisition and Sustainment, what we call ANS. The assistant, the ASD for industrial-based policy is the person we directly report to, as we are part of the Small Business Program Office for the entire Department of Defense. And this is really important because we have some major programs that are under it. We have the Apex Accelerators, which all of you, I think, have an understanding a little bit about what it is. We have the Indian Incentive Program, the Mentor Protege Program, a program, by the way, that's been in existence for quite some time. I'll touch on that shortly. Project Spectrum, a relatively new concept that I think its time has come. The RISE program, that's my most biased viewpoint of this one. That's a program that I work on. It was formerly known as the RIF program. Again, later on, we will give you a full presentation on that. And the Small Business Risk and Analysis. analytics rather. And these are the major programs that we put emphasis on. However, let me put another point here is that we also address many other areas that affect the entire department. And we handle the policies, we handle all of the issues that are associated with small business and try to coordinate on that. Okay, next slide. So just as a footnote, we are your front door. We're the people that are trying to get everybody in. The majority of the discussions center around the Apex accelerators, the mentor protege, and Project Spectrum. One day I hope to put another one under there called Rise, but again, that's my bias. Next chart. And what is our, is our operating environment? Well, we work with the R&E, Research and Engineering, A&S, Defense Innovation, and the SBA. We work in coordination with each of these offices. There are a series of agencies under each one of these. It's a massive undertaking to try to get as many small businesses to be a part of the federal government and to certainly be part of the DoD. Next chart. So what does it consist of? Well, we are not that small. We have 700 small business professionals that work on every area of concerning impacting the Department of Defense of small business. We have the market research, acquisition strategies, innovation. Again, you can read all of this, but what we're doing on our side is trying to develop a more professional cadre of people who in the future will be able to apply a lot of innovative ideas, not only to bring in technology, but also to use it to our benefit to expand the industrial base for the United States and to find better ways of doing business, remove the barriers, address the issues that are of greater concern to us, and that is, how do we get more small businesses back into the DoD? The Apex accelerators are the gatekeepers to this. There are 650 personnel, and these are people that we clearly are dependent on to move forward. Okay, so let's move on. Okay, so let's talk quickly about our leadership. This is our director, Mr. Farouk Mita. He is probably the best advocate that we've had in quite some time. He is somebody that we depend on to lead and guide us in this world that we have. And I can only say that he has brought this organization back from a very small cadre of people to a group of professional, well-organized, and well-structured organization. Let's move on. These are the principals involved. Casey Diaz is our deputy director of programs and operations. Khalil Mack, I think everybody knows him as the director of the Apex organizations. And then we have Anoop Rao, who is our chief of staff, a very, very talented individuals that we have here to try to help us move forward in our leadership. Next chart. So let's talk a little bit about the programs and operations. Okay, so here's my bias, the RISE program. I will talk in much more greater depth about this, but basically what we're trying to do here, to go over it quickly, is to take a small, is not small, but to take all of the small business organizations that are in the world of science and technology, that are at a technical readiness level of 3 or 4, maturing the technology and moving it to a more advanced state of 8 or 9, so that we can then help transition and put into production. And again, you'll see the famous line of Valley of Death. I'll be addressing that. I can only tell you that it is a phrase that I would like to put a greater emphasis on in the future, on what it means to me and how we're trying to develop it. Next chart. Okay, so the Indian Incentive Program is basically, we're trying to encourage the subcontracting with Native American organizations. Okay, and so we've had a program impact of $190 million, and 3.8 million have been part of the subcontractor performance. This is probably one of the more obscure of the programs that we have, because it is one of those areas where we're trying to expand its base, and it's one that we are still working on to do, but it is making great progress and strides. And this is run by Carla Johnson. Next slide. The Mentor Protege program was one of those three major ones that people call about. It's currently being run by Marcus Williams, who's the program analyst. Basically, this is a program where we help have the larger companies apply their knowledge and base. They are part of a program that helps benefits the small businesses. They do the matchmaking, they get together and try to see if there's a collaborative approach that they can take, and hopefully subcontract and even take the primary lead in some of the areas that we have. This is a program that's been in existence for at least 36, 37 years. It was just made permanent about a year or so ago. So you see how long it takes to get things done in the DoD. Next chart. The engagement policy, we have Derek Davis, who is responsible for the industrial cybersecurity. This is a different approach. What we're hoping, one of the more expensive areas to work in as a small business, and I don't need to tell everybody, this is trying to protect your data, your IP, your information is the treasury that we are trying to protect. What we're trying to do is establish a program and a centralized way of doing business that is working in sync with the CTO of this, or of the DoD, CIO rather, of the DoD. And we are putting together this program so that we are able to protect the information that we is so valued to the Department of Defense. Next chart. An area that clearly is not in the mainstream of thinking is in the small business policy. Dr. Jacqueline Charles is in charge of this. Folks, this is a really tough area because this is where all the guidance and direction comes from. And she's responsible for putting together all of the information that we have regarding legislation, directions, policy initiatives. And it is one that is really difficult to manage because we're trying to make sure that we have one policy that we all read from one sheet of music and move forward. And to get everybody to agree to these kind of worlds is really difficult. It's not one of those things that we do easily, but she has done an awesome job in trying to keep that together. Next chart. Okay, so over here we have FOCI, the Small Business Risk and Analysis Group. What we're trying to do is protect our technology and we need to put an emphasis on foreign ownership, control, and influence. What is key here is that many of our technology has been lost because we were not always clear on the type of intelligence that was going on in areas in the subcontracting world, for example. And so we put a greater emphasis now on that and trying to enable to understand what it is that's out there, who's doing business with us, do they have all the necessary clearances, can we afford to protect our technology using some of the foreign owners. Now, we have specific rules and guidance governing that, but when you go into the subcontracting levels, it becomes a lot more mired in kind of darkness because we're not always sure of who's out there. So we're putting a greater emphasis now as a department on that area. I assure you this is one area that's going to continue to grow and more in areas of concern. Next chart, please. Okay, so the Apex accelerators, this one I know a little bit more about from the standpoint of having participated in its transition. It was transitioned a little over a year ago from DLA, and it's currently being run by Khalil Matt. He's been done a tremendous effort. We have over 90 locations to include the U.S. territories. We have 49 state participation. I think there's still one out there. Basically, these are organizations that are been set up to provide guidance and direction to the small businesses on how to do business in the DoD. If there's any way that I would explain it is just go to the Pentagon anytime you want to have a meeting or visit, and you'll see how complex it is just to walk around that building. I can only imagine what it's like for a small business to try to understand where to go, who to go to, and what the process is in getting their technology or their ideas through the very complex DoD process. And that's part of our barriers that we're trying to help break down. Apex they are the gatekeepers for that. Next chart. Okay, so here, what have been some of the program results? We from the Native American side, you can see we had 3.8 billion. We have 8,000 businesses, 13,000 individuals. We have over 90 Apex accelerators. I think it's 96. I think is the number, but I don't want to be too forward to say that that's an exact number. 49 states. Hopefully, we'll get the 50th in there one day. We have $4.9 billion in mentor protege and the 60% participation in the RISE program. And again, we'll go through that in more detail. It is a program that I've been associated with for many years, and I'm very proud of it, and I look forward to presenting on that. Next chart. So how do you connect with us? Well, we have social media. We got weekly newsletters. We got event calendar. You can look us up on websites. We are there for you at all times. We can help direct you into the areas that you need to speak to. It is a very big and complex environment that we're working in. Allow me to tell you that this is a job that is of major importance to the Department of Defense and the national security of this country. If 70% of our businesses are doing business, our small businesses doing business with the DoD, you can imagine the importance of it. And yet, I think it still needs to be emphasized more and more because the larger companies are always out there. It's the smaller ones that, in my opinion, are helping to move the technology forward, to be able to come up with the new ideas, to help it mature, to help it expand, transition, and go into production to protect our forces throughout the United States and the rest of the world. I can't emphasize enough the importance of this. Next chart. Okay, so I think that's it. I wanted to rush through this. I'm sorry it was like a fire hose, I imagine, but I wanted to make sure that we had a little bit of time for questions and answers if anybody had them. I think when you see all these programs, that you're going to have a lot of questions out there, and we're trying to make sure that we have as many resources that we can and many expertise that we have. We're trying to get our personnel in the DoD to be trained in small businesses, in the contracting environment, in the business environment, because it is a little different from the rest of the way we do acquisition in the DoD. So I'll turn it over back to you, Robin. Let me know what you think. And by the way, for anyone needs to remember my spelling, it is Basigo. And if you've heard of Will.i.am and you look at my spelling, it's Bus I Go. So just keep that in mind. Over to you, Rob.
Thank you, David. Appreciate that. Thank you so much for that wonderful presentation on the Department of Defense's Office of Small Business Programs. We do have a couple questions. I'm not sure if we have any time to answer these in depth. Someone wants to know, what is the handle on social media? I'm not sure what that would be. Maybe Ken or Dave could answer that.
I'm not sure either, but I think if they're saying if we have what social media do we have, you can find us in just about any one of these the larger social medias. We're always having discussions in those areas. Facebook and all of those are out there for people to look into us.
So people are asking for the addresses for those social media. So this PowerPoint presentation that you provided today, I believe we're going to get a copy of that and we can send that out to everyone that participated. But yes, Anna said you could check out the Department of Defense's, just Google Department of Defense's Office of Small Business Programs. You'll find their website. Joey just put that in the chat. If you want to just click on that and save that in your favorites, that will show you all the different social media. There should be links to the social media accounts on that website. And then Tracy asked, how do you sign up for the Mentor Protege program? Tracy, what I'm going to advise you, that's a little bit more in depth than what we'll have time for today. So please reach out to your Apex Accelerator That is something that we are tasked to assist to get companies in the right direction, down the right path for a Mentor Protege program. So reach out. If you cannot find, if you don't know who your Apex Accelerator is, please go to the Apex Accelerator website. Maybe someone could put that in the chat as well. And you'll locate your Apex Accelerator by looking for the state and then the county that your business is located in. Thank you, Anna, for that. That she put the Mentor Protege in. How do we get a meeting with your Apex Accelerator? You would call up and sign up to be a client. How we do it is you fill out a client enrollment form, and then we'll schedule an appointment. We'll schedule you with one of our counselors, our expert counselors. Thank you, Joey, for putting that in the chat. Appreciate that. With DoD, I'm not sure, Greg, how you would get a meeting with DoD. But again, you will work with your Apex Accelerator. We will get you those connections. We will help you figure all of that out. And it's based on, we do like an initial assessment of your company to find out what your, which agency is doing business with your company, what kinds of products and services are being bought by the government. So we'll help you narrow that down. Again, a good starting point is your Apex Accelerator.
I concur, Robin. I just want to add here, folks, these individuals have been involved with the DoD for a number of years, and even they are going to have questions at times on where to send people. So they do communicate with us regularly about, where can we send someone with this kind of information, this kind of background, their kind of technology. And I think what's important to remember is that we're always going to refer you down the line. There are going to be at times where, we're not always sure, but we will try to do our best to run it down as best we can.
Yeah. And what I usually tell people is the Apex Accelerators, as Dave had mentioned, we are located in 49 states. We've been doing this since a lot of us have been around for many, many years. But we have over 600 colleagues nationwide. Some of them are retired from contracting as a contracting officer from the government, or have a lot of government contracting experience. So if we don't have the answer, then we have, I call them 600 and some phone a friends that I can call and get their expertise and confer with them. And it's a wonderful network. We're like one big happy family. So please reach out to your Apex Accelerator. We're always very we have wonderful counselors, and we always like to help, and this is our job. We love to do it. So if we have no other questions in the audience, I would like to introduce our next keynote presenter here for today, Colonel Victoria Nemmers. I'm going to read your bio for you, for the audience, so they can get a little bit of what it is, your background. You have a very, very impressive list of experience, expertise, and capabilities. But I want to be cognizant of your time, Colonel Nemmers, and the audience, so we can, so you have enough time to talk. So I'm not going to read the entire bio, but it's very impressive, and I would love to read some of it here for you. So Colonel Victoria Nemmers is the Deputy Director for Contracting, Directorate of the Headquarters Air Force Materiel Command, Wright-Patterson Air Force Base, Ohio. In this capacity, she is the Senior Military Officer providing advice and counsel to the Commander, Air Force Materiel Command, for all command contracting issues. Colonel Nemmers is responsible for organizing, training, and equipping 3,700 plus military and civilian contracting professionals from the annual acquisition of $51 billion of equipment and services necessary to develop, produce, test, sustain war-winning expeditionary capabilities on time, on cost, and in accordance with federal acquisition requirements, while emphasizing opportunities for small business participation and maximizing competition. She ensures the military are 100% prepared to deploy overseas. Colonel Nemmers received her Air Force commission from Officer Training School in May of 1997. Following Officer Training School, Colonel Nemmers' first assignment was a contract manager in the C-17 System Program Office. This was followed by an assignment at the Air Force Research Laboratory as a contracts manager for the Air Vehicles Directorate. Her next assignment found her at Lackland Air Force Base, Texas, as a contracting officer in the 37th Contracting Squadron. While there, she led a 4-person deployed team in Oman, supporting 6 Bear base locations and 12,000 U.S. personnel. Colonel Nemmers completed her 2nd Squadron command as the commander of the 338th Specialized Contracting Squadron at the Joint Base San Antonio, Randolph, Texas, in support of the Air Force Education and Training Command headquarters function. She was assigned at the Pentagon as a senior procurement analyst in the Defense Procurement and Acquisition Policies, Contract Policy, and International Contract Directorate, which was followed by her senior developmental education at the Dwight Eisenhower School for National Security and Resource Strategy. Prior to her current assignment, she was the Military Deputy Procurement Services Directorate, Defense Information Systems Agency, Fort George Meade, Maryland. Colonel Nemmers grew up in Grand Forks, North Dakota, and is married to Lieutenant Colonel retired Scott Nemmers. Wow, that is a mouthful. Thank you so much, Colonel Nemmers, for being here today. Again, a very impressive bio there. It's a pleasure to have you here, a pleasure to introduce you, and I'm going to let you take it away. Thank you.
Robin, thank you very much for that nice introduction. Yes, I've been doing this for almost 28 years, and it's been exciting. And while I am not a small business specialist by any stretch of the imagination, small business has always been a significant focus for us. And so I just want to give you a few of my thoughts and perspectives. And these are really my thoughts and perspectives. But so as a contracting professional, I have had the privilege of being in partnership with between the Air Force and the private sector, working with industry. And these collaborations have enabled us to fulfill our mission while delivering immense value for the American people. You as small businesses are not just there as our contractors and suppliers. You're a mission critical partner and essential to driving innovation, efficiency, adaptability for our ever-changing global environment. Air Force Material Command is a foundational element of the Air Force. It manages the complete life cycle of Air Force assets, from the earliest stages of R&D, research and development, through acquisition, sustainment, and eventual retirement. Every aircraft, weapon, and support system used by the Air Force bears the mark of AFMC's influence. It is a vast and complex organization that operates through 6 specialized centers, each of which plays an indispensable role in fulfilling the Air Force's mission. So just if you're unfamiliar with Air Force Material Command, I just want to give you just a little bit of what we are. So there are 6 centers. There's the Air Force Research Laboratory, Air Force Life Cycle Management Center, Air Force Sustainment Center, Air Force Nuclear Weapons Center, Air Force Test Center, and Air Force Installation and Mission Support Center. The research laboratories are where innovation begins, and was one of my first assignments and one of my favorites. And I did a lot with small business there. We were collaborating in the SBIR program. AFRL, the lab's still very active with that. Life Cycle Management Center manages acquisitions and support for virtually all of the Air Force weapon systems, including procuring aircraft, munitions, and information technology systems. Sustainment Center focuses on maintenance, repair, and logistics for existing systems. Let's see, I am not sure I know how to share the screen. Let's see. I am just on video. I have no charts. Can one of the moderators help me?
Um, let's see. Do we have a maybe? I don't know if I have your things, but if you want to share, you're just going to go down to the bottom of the screen, move your mouse around. You'll see a green share button. There's a green arrow,
Okay.
and then you should be able to pick the screen and share it.
Okay, this is so I don't have any charts. It's just me on video.
Oh, okay. So you don't have any charts to share?
No, I
Oh,
don't. You've
sorry.
just got me
Yeah.
speaking.
No, that's no problem at all. Yeah, so Sharon, sorry about that. We don't have anything to share, so no problems.
Okay, sorry about that.
No
Let's
worries.
see. Sustain. Okay, so nuclear weapons center is critical to maintaining the reliability, safety, and security of our nuclear enterprise. The test center ensures that everything we field is rigorously tested under a wide variety of conditions. And the Installation and Mission Support Center is responsible for the infrastructure that supports our missions, from facility management to environmental programs. Last fiscal year was a record-setting year for Air Force Material Command. The command obligated over $73 billion in contracts and assistance instruments. And our commitment to small business is not just rhetoric, because we as part of that 73 billion, we we contracted directly with small business for over $10 billion. Of that, 3 billion went to small disadvantaged businesses, 1.2 billion to service disabled veteran-owned small businesses, 1.45 billion to women-owned small businesses, and 523 million to hub zones. Unsurprisingly, aircraft manufacturing was where we obligated the most dollars, but second and third were research and development and engineering services. Now that's overall. For small businesses, our number one was research and development, and then it was commercial and institutional building construction and engineering services. So these numbers, these are some pretty big numbers, and they reflect a deliberate strategy to foster innovation, encourage competition, and deliver value to the taxpayer and provide for the warfighter. But also beyond these numbers, the contracts represent real contributions to our mission success. And as somebody who's been deployed, I can tell you how important it is to feel the support that comes from our contractors. So there are many success stories illustrating how small businesses are driving innovation and efficiency across the Air Force. They also serve as a reminder of the incredible potential that exists within the small business community. As you consider opportunities available to you and your organization, it's important to remember that success in military contracting requires a clear understanding of both the process and the culture. The military contracting process can be very daunting, and you need to have the right approach, and there are tremendous opportunities out there for you. So working with the Department of Defense is not just about submitting a proposal and winning a contract. It really is about understanding the mission and aligning your capabilities to meet the needs of the warfighter. Before pursuing a contract, take time to research the mission and the priorities of the relevant organizations that you would be working with. Tailor your solutions to address those specific objectives, demonstrating not just your technical expertise, but your commitment to the mission. Another key to success is leveraging the resources available to you as a small business. Specifically for Air Force Material Command, each of our locations has dedicated small business professionals. who are there to assist both the small business and our acquisition professionals. So every time we have, we're looking at contracts, we reach out to our small business professionals to get their assistance. To help you understand Air Force Material Command and our unique needs, I would recommend that you visit our website and take a look at what each of the centers specific to each of the center's specific websites. Also, know what the small business programs are out there. So you heard a lot of them previously, but you know, the Sibber-Sitter program, the Mentor Protege program, both of those are very solid programs that we've utilized in the Air Force. Additionally, continue to take advantage of opportunities like this one. This is a perfect event for you to ask questions of small business experts and, you know, make networking connections. So in government contracting, building relationships is also essential. Contracting officers, program managers, and other stakeholders are not just the gatekeepers for getting contracts, but we're also potential resources for you in your journey to contribute to the Department of Defense's mission. Engage with these individuals through industry days, conferences, and other networking events. Developing strong relationships can help you identify opportunities, gain insight into the Department of Defense's needs, and position your business for long-term success. And of course, working with the military, you do need to have a strong focus on compliance. We are a highly regulated organization, and military contracts come with strict requirements. So ensure your business complies with the regulations, such as the cybersecurity standards, quality certifications, and financial reporting. Investing in compliance can make your business more competitive. And if you find you're not in a position to directly contract with the Department of Defense, consider subcontracting opportunities. Work with a more experienced company as a prime, and you know, that way you get some experience and get yourself ready for your to be your own prime contractor. And finally, it's important to be persistent. Contracting with the Department of Defense is complex and can be a very time-consuming process with long lead times, and there's stiff competition. But you need to be persistent. Every proposal, whether successful or not, is an opportunity to learn and improve. Use these experiences to refine your approach and strengthen your position for future opportunities. Make sure that, you know, if you have not won, ask for a debrief, find out how you can improve your proposals. So as we look to the future, the Department of Defense, we face a rapidly changing threat landscape that demands innovation, adaptability, and collaboration. This presents a lot of opportunities for small businesses across a range of emerging domains. Artificial intelligence and machine learning, for instance, are transforming the way Air Force processes data and potentially how decisions are made. Cybersecurity has become a top priority as adversaries increasingly target critical systems. The Air Force is also deeply committed to sustainability with initiatives focused on renewable energy, energy efficiency, and green infrastructure. Small businesses have a vital role to play in all of these areas. And Air Force Material Command is committed to fostering these opportunities and ensuring that small businesses remain at the forefront of its mission. I want to reiterate that small businesses, you are not just vendors or contractors, you are a partner, and you are a vital part of DoD's mission to defend our nation. Your ideas and expertise, your commitment to our mission is indispensable. And we really do appreciate each and every one of you. What you bring is, like I said, vital. So as you explore opportunities, I encourage you to think boldly, act strategically, and embrace the challenges that come with working with the Department of Defense. And definitely explore the resources available to you and take full advantages of opportunities like today. And I thank you for your time, and I look forward to being able to answer any questions if I can.
Thank you so much for that wonderful presentation. We do have some questions starting to come through, but I'm going to give some people some more time. If you do have questions for Colonel Numbers, please put that in the chat. One of the questions that I wanted to start off with is, I had mentioned earlier on during my welcoming remarks that the Department of Defense has seen a 40% decrease in the number of small business suppliers, vendors, contractors in our defense supply chain. I know that the Department of Defense, a part of their 2023 strategy, small business strategy, was to help increase that defense industrial base. We have ships that need built. We have new technologies. So much is going on. Have you seen any kind of improvement in those stats in the last couple of years since since this has been a focus for the Department of Defense to help increase that defense industrial base? Have you seen some success, or do you believe we still have a long way to go?
I think we still have a long way to go. This was a long-term problem. The problem was created over time, and it's going to take time to fix the problem.
Right.
And it doesn't help that we are a very large bureaucracy. So, it's hard to get people to want to work with DoD because it does take so long. It gets frustrating. There's so many regulations. So all I can do is encourage you to just, be persistent.
Right. That's one of the things that we try to tell our clients as well, is be persistent. And I have some great clients out there that we've been working for even a good over a year, just getting prepared. Like you had mentioned, quality assurance, get your quality assurance and your cybersecurity, get those standards in place, because it is very important. And we do need to protect our, technical drawings, our technologies and things that are, going into our products and products. So it is important because China and Russia are, they're hacking our systems all the time and stealing our ideas. And it's very important for the soldiers themselves to protect them. So these things are very important. And that's something that Apex Accelerator, we will discuss with a client and help them understand those requirements. So it's important that you do work with your Apex Accelerator. We are the starting point for you. I have a question here. It says, Colonel Nemmers, can we get in touch with you to brief capabilities? One of our subsidiaries, Cleared IT Cyber Firms, is based in Dayton, Ohio, and we work at the Wright-Patterson Air Force Base. And they provided an email address. Are you taking part in our meetings, matchmaking meetings?
I am not, but
Okay.
what I would recommend is contacting Jeff Malott.
Okay.
He's our small business person up here at headquarters.
Yeah, and just so that you, all of the attendees know, you will get a directory probably sometime at the beginning of next year. Anyone who participated in the event should get a directory of anyone who gave permission for their contact information. I think Jeff, he'll be on the next. I see his name up there. He'll be on our next breakout session here, so maybe he can elaborate whether or not he can give out his email address. I don't like to do that. I'm very cautious about giving out people's emails. So I'm sure there's a way to get in touch with you, to get you connected. So please, again, reach out to your Apex Accelerator and we'll make those connections for you. Someone wants to know if we have a prime contractor list. And I don't know if that's something to do with the Mentor Protege program. I know the Department of Defense has a list of mentors on their website. So Greg, if you go to that Department of Defense's Mentor Protege website, you will find a list of mentors that those are approved mentors. Again, I don't know if I'm answering your question, but please reach out to your Apex Accelerator for those kinds of questions, and we will help you with that. So someone wants to know the Section 8, and I'm assuming you mean the 8A program contracting preference over small business, in effect locks out many 8A firms from being able to bid, win deal, and any suggestions on how to overcome this barrier? I'm not sure if that question makes sense to you or not. Again, Arthur, maybe reach out to your Apex Accelerator on that. I'm not sure exactly what you mean by that. Payment terms, managing projects. Okay, so I have a question about a lot of contractors have issues with payment terms and financing projects for months before they get paid. Agencies need to speed up payment terms. This is another thing that we talk to our clients about, is if you are going to be doing business with the government, you need to be in a financially stable position with your company. You can't go into the company not being cognizant of those kinds of things, type of financial issues. If that's a financial issue for you, then maybe government contracting isn't the place for you. So those are things that we do talk to our clients about, being financially stable and being able to handle those kinds of payment terms that the government has set. I don't know if you have anything else to add to that, Colonel Nevers.
It is one of those. We are very concerned with payments to small businesses because we understand that missing a payment can be the lifeblood. What I would say is you've got to make sure that when you invoice, it's correct, it's in the right form. If you're having problems, contact your contracting officer immediately. If you're not getting satisfaction there is a chain of command. You work your way up through their chain of command. It is something that we are very cognizant of. And unfortunately, there are times when it just doesn't work out right. And I don't have any real solutions on that. And it's been a problem throughout my career.
Yeah. Yep. Unfortunately. I'm not seeing any more questions coming through. Yes.
We have a few in the Q&A.
Yep, I see that now. Sorry about that. Okay, so so someone wants to know why there is a decrease in the small business participation. Any comments or thoughts on that?
There's, the economy, changes in the administration.
Yeah, I'm gonna just help you out. One of the things you do is you can go to you can Google the Department of Defense's Office of Small Business Programs 2023 strategy. You will see information in that article or in that document about the reasons why there was a decrease. I know that one of the biggest reasons is the barriers to entry is because of all the different government systems, like registering with the System for Award Management has been a very daunting system in the last few years because of some changes that the government has made in that system. That has been hindering a lot of companies. There are other programs like the Joint Certification Program, gaining access to technical documents has had some issues. Something that we help our clients with all the time, but And security, cybersecurity has been a huge barrier, but it's a necessity. It's a necessity for companies to have cybersecurity controls in place, but that's also a financial burden on companies. So again, there are lots of reasons, but if you go to that 2023 Department of Defense's Office of Small Business Programs strategy, you will see a list of the reasons why. So we have another question there. Has someone wants to know, there has been increasingly voices to utilize the U.S. ally countries for shipbuilding and repairs. In the coming years, it is likely for the DoD to go in that direction or strictly adhere to the Buy America Act. Have you heard anything about that, Colonel Nemmers?
So I have not, but you got to also remember I'm Air Force, not Navy.
Yes, that's right. Yeah, I have not heard that as well, but I know that we have a ton of shipbuilding going on. All right, as I start, that's something. As a new startup that plans on bidding with prime contractors, so you want to be a subcontractor, are there any specific bidding timelines with the DoD that we should be aware of?
Really, you need to work with the prime. So they're the ones who are going to present their proposal to us. And so it needs to, you need to work with them and make sure you've got their timelines.
Yes, and it's all about communication. If you're not communicating with your prime, then you're more likely not going to be successful. It's an important partnership that you should be making those relationships with your prime and understanding what is required by you. Are there any flow down clauses, those kinds of things? So yes, definitely, if you're working with prime, you'll be on their timeline. I'm not sure of this question, but I'm going to read it. It says, what do you see coming in the posture of the DoD with the new administration? Isn't DoD sort of out of the line of fire?
So anytime there's a new administration, the only thing that we are guaranteed is change.
I am not seeing any other questions in the Q&A. And we are about at that time. So again, Colonel Nemmers, thank you so much for being a part of our 5th annual Tri-State Apex Accelerator Mega Matchmaking event. It was a pleasure having you on, and we wish you best of luck. And thank you again. And again, our matchmaking sessions will begin here in about a minute. Our next general session is the Air Force. We'll be having a panel discussion. We have some great experts from the Air Force coming on to discuss contracting with the Air Force, and I hope you can join us. And again, thank you and have a great day. I appreciate it.
Thank you.